श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम गं गणपतये नमः। ओम ऐं सरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओं श्री महागणपतये नमः। ओं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओं नमः शिवाय गुरवे सच्चिदानन्दमूर्तये निष्प्रपञ्चाय शान्ताय निरालम्बाय तेजसे। ॐ यस्यात्मभूतस्य गुरुप्रसादात् अहं विमुक्तोऽस्मि संसारबन्धात् सर्वोपदेष्टुः शिवानन्दमूर्तेः मृद्वाक्रियुग्मं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यं दयासिन्धुं दीनबन्धुं शास्त्रार्थबोधनपटुं मस्करीन्द्रवरं नौमि श्रीचिदानन्दसद्गुरुम्। ॐ प्राणिनां दुःखहर्तारौ ज्ञानदौ भुवनमुक्तये शिवानन्दचिदानन्दौ आश्रये गुरुसत्तमौ। ॐ शान्तात्मानं प्रणतसुलभं सिद्धविद्याप्रभावं भास्वद्रूपं सुगुणनिलयं ध्वस्तकर्मादिवर्गं प्रज्ञावृत्तं निजसमदृशं तारदं त्यागिभज्यं साक्षादीशं मम गुरुवरं शिवानन्दं नतोऽस्मि। शिवानन्दं नतोऽस्मि। ॐ My humble prostrations to our revered Gurudev Swami Shivanji Maharaj, our beloved Swamiji Chidanji Maharaj, and to everyone here. So today we have commenced the sadhana week. So from today onwards you will be hearing on the topic sadhana from very scholarly Swamijis and others. So I will share my thought as to what exactly is sadhana. What is sadhana? So the word sadhana means a process, some activity which we do to achieve something. We have in our day-to-day life, we have ambitions actually. The entire life, from the moment we open our eyes and until we close our eyes, we are always searching for something. We are always wanting for something. Something we want to get. or something you want to get rid of. You are thirsty, you want little water. And you are sweating, you look up whether the fan is working or not. So always there are certain needs actually. So those needs, there are certain wants. So we can call them as temporary goals. We want to achieve that. The moment you achieve it, we feel happy actually. So we want to achieve something that is a sadhya vastu. In order to achieve that sadhya vastu, what we do, the effort we apply, the process we adopt is called sadhana. So sadhana does not mean spiritual sadhana. The ordinary terminology sadhana does not mean spiritual sadhana. Sadhana means anything we do actually. What we do to achieve something. I want water, I lift the water and drink. That is also a sadhana that quenches my thirst. And so, every moment we are engaged in some form of sadhana. Even to sleep, go to sleep, you prepare the bed and the creases all removed and then lie down. And you want to have a particular pose so that you can sleep. You cannot sleep in all the... Some people this way, some people that way. So, for every action we do is a sadhana to achieve something which we want actually. The commentator, the famous commentator of the Vedas, puts it this way, that all our life we are spending for two purposes. Ishta prapti, anishta parihara. Acharya also refers this in his commentaries in many times. In the commentary of the Upanishads, Gita, etc., Acharya refers these two terminologies, Ishta prapti, anishta parihara. We want to achieve something which we don't have so that we will be happy. And also we want to get rid of something so that we will be happy. So the effort we put, the action we do to make ourselves happy, to make ourselves comfortable, or to achieve the goal which we have in mind at the moment, that is sadhana actually. So every moment we are in sadhana. Most of the things are worldly sadhana. So everyone is a sadhak only. He has got certain ambitions and want to achieve that also. Bhagavan also says, the desires you entertain in the mind, if they are not opposed to dharma, then it is me, he says. The desire we entertain in the mind, if it is not against dharma, dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. The desire, kama, the desire we have, which is not opposed to, which is not against dharma, he is Bhagavan only. So whatever desire we have and the effort we put to achieve that is sadhana only. So most of the desires are worldly desires. I want a house, I want this, I want good food, I want something else. So I want to be comfortable. All the desires, the action we take, the pursue to achieve that is sadhana only. Don't think sadhana is something special. When you come here only with the sadhana week, every minute you are in sadhana only. But that sadhana is for worldly things. Now our sadhana week is a spiritual sadhana week. The seekers, those who are seeking something high, those who are seeking the ultimate, highest goal, are those who are seeking God. That sadhana, we are now calling it as the common word you use, sadhana, means that. We use that way. So, what is the sadhana for the seekers? We are already We are doing sadhana every moment to achieve worldly things, to achieve something which is supreme, by achieving which no more achievement is needed. Yam labdva naparam labham, they say, achieving which all other desires will come to an end. For that, what sadhana we have to do? So that we should know. Otherwise, this is sadhana, that sadhana, this sadhana, japa sadhana, yoga sadhana, meditation sadhana, all these sadhanas can be for worldly things also. You can do japa for achieving worldly things. You can do puja for worldly things. So when we do the puja, we make a sankalpa that Chintita Manoratha Vaptyartham, Ishtakamya Siddhyartham. So Ishtakamya Siddhyartham, that is sadhana only. Rituals, even the yajnas, pujas, etc., what we do, it can be for worldly things also. Okay, am I right or wrong? So because they make a sankalpa like that, Srauta Smarta, Vihita Arishtana Siddhyartham, Yogyada Siddhyartham, Ishtakamya Siddhyartham, Ye Grahaha Anugula Staneshu Tishtandi Tesham Anugraha Vashat, Ye Grahaha Pratigula Staneshu Tishtandi Tesham Anugula Vashat, Mama Chintita Manoratha Vaptyartham. This is a sankalpa which we do in the rituals. So, what exactly is the sadhana for the ultimate achievement, for the highest achievement? What sadhana we have to do? This is told many times in all the scriptures, but somehow we don't correctly pinpoint that. We are carried away by so many things. We say many things. So the difference between the sadhana of achieving the worldly goals and the sadhana for achieving the spiritual goal is only one thing. We work for the goal, you achieve it, you may not achieve it. The possibility you get it, you don't get it. Two possibilities are there. In spiritual life also, you are a spiritual seeker. He has also wants in this. He is not living without anything. He has wants here. He has to have food. Chudvyadischa chikitsyatam vidivashat praptena santushyatam, Bhagavan says. So truth is there, hunger is there, thirst is there. And whatever you get, vidivashat praptena santushyatam. What comes out of providence, be happy with that, he says. So, the difference between ordinary worldly sadhanas, that is sadhana we are doing, the ordinary people doing, and the seekers doing, this will be the difference. This is the only difference between an ordinary person and a spiritual seeker. If there is anything else, you can discuss with me later. So this difference is, an ordinary person has wants. To achieve those wants, he works, he gets it, he doesn't get it. When he gets it, he becomes elated, happy, oh, achieved it. If he doesn't get it, then he becomes sorry, oh, I'm sorry. All the effort has gone. He becomes unhappy also. So the result of the actions, the result of the sadhana brings about certain impact on our psychic structure, on our mind actually. So that is called the samskara there, putting a seed into that. If it is a happy thing, you want it to have it again. Today jalebi is given very good, Swamiji, jalebi was excellent. Tomorrow also if it is given good, they will think actually. So, if you become happy or unhappy with the achievements, then it leaves a permanent impressions on the mind, the chitta, which in turn causes other things actually. The samskara, that the vasanas, which brings about the future birth. Today, Swami Mandaleshwar was also discussing the Papachaya. By undergoing the dukkha, Papachaya is going on. And the pleasures we get is because of the punya. So the good activity, bad activity, whatever activity we do, they, in good activity also we achieve, bad activity also we achieve. A pickpocketer is there. He will be happy if he is able to pick somebody's pocket. So he is happy, I have achieved. So there also the good activity, bad activity is not, it is not important. It is immaterial. It can bring pleasure, it can bring pain. So when it brings pain and pleasure, if it doesn't bring pain and pleasure, if you are able to keep the mind free in such a way that pain and pleasure is not there, Sukha-dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. Bhagavan says in so many places, what does it mean actually? The seeker is, we are involved in different activities every moment. And those activities make us happy or unhappy every moment. Are you carried away by that? Are you able to make it a condition, neutral condition? Or if you do not permit them to have a big impact in our mind, that is the real sadhana. So in the worship of the mother, there is a shloka which says, Jagadambaha padam smartuhu sankadam na kadachana yadi jayeda tat jneyam tadapi swastaye khila. Jagadamba padam smartuhu, one who contemplates on the lotus feet of mother, goddess mother, sankadam na kadachana. It's in the, they say you be devoted to God, mother will take care of you, Bhagavan will take care of you, Gurudev will bless you, we say. If Gurudev doesn't bless, what will happen to you? You ask, seek something from Gurudev, and if it doesn't happen, whether you are able to take it, maybe it is not good for me, that is why Gurudev has not given. Are you able to do like that? Or you are worrying more and more about it? There actually, that is the touchstone actually. That is the acid test. Jagadamba padam smartuhu sangadam na kadachana. There won't be any problem. Yadi jayeta. If it happens, tat jneyam tadapi swastaye khila. Then you should be able to accept it. This is for my good. Well, how, to what extent it is possible for us? This test you have to do every day to find out whether we are really seeking the ultimate or we are seeking something ephemeral. There is seeking. Seeking of the ephemeral is there, and seeking of the ultimate is also there. Seeking of the ultimate is not entirely free from the seeking of the ephemeral, because here you need something, in this world you need something. You cannot say this, Jagad Mithya, then don't eat, don't sleep. It's not possible. So you are eating something. Chudvyadishcha chikitsyadam, Bhagavan says actually. Shruti pipas are there. Certain prana dharmas are there that we need it actually. Maybe we may reduce the wants, but there are wants, and those wants we have to achieve it. Otherwise you cannot keep the body and soul together. So to keep the body and soul together, you need certain things. You can keep on increasing the wants actually. So everybody has got wants, but each one has got a package actually. Your want is this much, his wants is this much, his wants is this much. So when we try to achieve something, when we do something to achieve something, and if you don't get that, if you get it, in both cases, what exactly is your situation? Do you get very much elated? Do you get very much depressed? Sukha-dukkha, sama, whether it is we are able to maintain that samya bhavana, whether you are meant to maintain that equipoise, that is actually. And then every day we keep on saying this is possible only by one method. This, you can be free from the pain and pleasure of the achievements or the non-achievements by only one method. And that is what we are, every day we are repeating this mantra, every day we are saying this. But to what extent we have understood that? A sloka is being repeated every day here, sometimes 3 times a day. Many of you know after in the concluding prayer, normally this is the last prayer. What is the last prayer? Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakriti swabhavat karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami. So whatever action I have done, I have given to you. In that case, the success or failure belongs to him. Do we accept it that way? How many of us can accept it that way? And to what extent we can accept? The brothers of Jadabharada, son of Rishabha, great yogis. So Vasudeva was worried. So what is Bhagavata Dharma? They asked. Then Hari says, Kavi, Hari, Antariksha, Pipalada, like that, 9 people. So the first person to speak about the Bhagavata Dharma, the eternal Dharma, he says this. This sloka he repeats with little change. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava anisrita swabhavat. Prakriti swabhavat become because now he is giving an upadesha. What is Bhagavata Dharma? This is Bhagavata Dharma, you do like this. So he is the only this is the difference. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava anisrita swabhavat karoti yat yat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayet tat. You do one thing, whatever you do with kaya, kayena vacha, with body, vacha, the speech, manasa, with the mind, indriyarva, through the sense organs, buddhya, through the buddhi, atmana. Atmana shabdasya kortaha tatra. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana. What is that meaning of that atmana? Atma is not, that Atma is not soul actually. Buddhyatmana here, Atma means Ahankara Chitta together actually. Body, Vak, mind, Indriyas, Buddhi, Atma means Ahankara Chitta, Militva. Sridharacharya gives the Vyakhyana, Ahankara. Otherwise, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chitta Ninaham. So, mind and Buddhi has been told, then Ahankara Chitta is Atmana. So whatever we do, Anusrita Swabhava, according to your nature, each one has got different nature. What one likes, the other may not like it. Somebody will like sweet, somebody may not like sweet. So, Anusrita Swabhava. So according to your nature, whatever you do with the body, with the mind, with the words, in the sense organs, buddhi, etc., karodi yat whatever you do, sakalam parasmi narayanayeti samarpayet. That offer it to Bhagavan. So all the actions we have to offer. Even if you quarrel with somebody, that you have to offer it to Bhagavan. Don't think that these are all worldly things. Spirituality is something different. Spirituality is not different from the world. Here you have to do the spirituality. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, yat tapasyasi kauddeya, tat kurushva padarpanam. Yat karoshi, whatever you do did not be the spiritual activities, puja karma, not that mentioned. Swatah praptam. Acharya's commentary is swatah praptam. Shastrat rite praptam karma. That is the definition. Anandagiri gives the definition. Yadyat karma karomi means yadyat karma means yadyat subha karma karomi. Not that way, yadyat puja karomi. Tatha na. Yadyat karma means whatever you do here. You are interacting with the world here. What you are doing. So Shastra Vihita karma is okay. Shastra Vihita, that which is not mentioned in the Shastra, you are eating. That's why Bhagavan says, Yat karoshi, yad ashinasi, whatever you eat. Whatever you eat, that you do it for me, he says. Yat karoshi, yad ashinasi, yad juhoshi, yad dadasi, whatever you give. Even if you give some money to a beggar. Shastradharite praptam karma, yat tata. That is the meaning actually. So all these things you do it for Bhagavan actually. So what exactly the offering actually? Your karma I have done. And if it is a failure, it is your problem. If it is a success, it is your problem. You are benefited. I have nothing to do. So an agent goes and sells something product and makes a big profit. The profit goes to the manager. Of course, he may give a little pittance to us. If it is a loss, it is his problem. It is not our problem. So whether we can attribute all these activities to that Bhagavan, whether you can think like that, it is easy to talk about all these things. Mahankarta, Harikarta. But such a thought is not possible. That is why spirituality is. Churasya dhara nishita dhuratya durgam padam kaviyo vadadi. It is like walking on the racer's edge. Bhagavan also says, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. He gives a direction to Arjuna. You think about me and fight, he says. When I say that you are quarreling with somebody, you offer it to Bhagavan, I say, Arjuna, he gives a direction to Arjuna, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. You think about me and fight, send arrows and kill that fellow. So if you don't think about him, if you don't offer that to Bhagavan, it is a problem for you. It is a papa. If it is really offered to Bhagavan, it is not a papa. Think about all these things. Many of you know Shastras. No, whatever sloka I say, you know it in the Gita, it is there. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhyacha. Yudhyacha is there. You fight. Yudhya cannot be different meaning. You can't give actually. Whatever activity you do, and that constantly remember me and offer that activity unto me. That I am Naham Karta should be there. I have done it. You made me to do it, I have done it. I have nothing to do with that. If it is if a bad result comes, so fine. If a good results come, fine. If you make me unhappy, fine. If you make me happy, it is fine. And I am not least disturbed. The great devotees are like that actually. Bhagavan asks, I will place in hell. Acha, you place me in hell? I have no botheration. Diviva, Buviva Vamastu Vaso, Narakeva, Narakandaga Pragamam, Avadhirida Sharada, Ravinda Charano, Marane, Vichintayami. You place me in the heavens. You place me in the hell. Absolutely no problem for me. This is the sadhana you have to do actually. All other sadhanas, only periphery you are doing something, it won't work. It may work after millions of years. But Bhagavan says, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. And Gurudev also says, three things Gurudev says specially for sadhana. Then cultivate virtues and eradicate vices. Constantly remember me. Spiritualize all activities. This is the spiritualization of the activities. The activity has to be spiritualized. Whatever be the end result, I will be least disturbed. It is your work. You made me to do it, I did it. Okay, if it is this way, it is fine. If it is the other way, okay, that's also fine. Then, whether it is possible, that is very much possible actually. Bhagavan says, Ma manusmara yudhyacha. So we are actually engaged in a battle here. Every time we are doing with something or other makes us, we are working with something here. And it brings about happiness or unhappiness. Any activity brings our happiness or unhappiness. So how are we reacting to that? And whether it is possible to remember God and fight, to be engaged in a war, and at the same time to be totally detached and totally keep the mind on Bhagavan, whether that is possible. Bhagavan has told Arjuna, Ma manusmara yudhyacha. And the same Vyasa Bhagavan who wrote that Gita, he himself gives a presence, a model before us. It is possible, you see here, I am presenting it here. Who is that model you know? Anybody knows? Those who read Bhagavad know. The model. A person who is engaged in battle, at the same time his mind is in God actually. And he is the one who gave the best definition for devotion. His name, Mataji, will be remembered. When I will bring to your memory, his name is Vritrasura. He gives the definition for bhakti. No definition will come anywhere near this. The best definition for bhakti is given in the Bhagavad by Vritrasura in few slokas. So this Vritrasura was the son of Twashta. And this Twashta created him. Some may not be knowing the Vritrasura. The Kathagars will present him as a devil and all these things. Okay, he's a devil. But he is the person, by killing him, Indra got Brahmahatyadi Papa. He is like a Brahmana. He is a realized saint. He was afraid of killing him. Indra was last minute, he was afraid of killing him. And he saw what a life his life is. What a great devotee. He was humbled before his enemy. Indra was just humbled before that enemy. And the Vyasa Bhagavan describes that so beautifully actually. So the Vritrasura was created by his father Twashta to kill Indra. Such a great demon actually. And so then Vritrasura go to for the fight, for the war, and Indra was there. He defeated all his battalion, all the enemies were. Then Indra was standing before him. Then he says, "Oh, I'm very happy you are in front of me. You killed my brother." Vritra's brother, Vishwarupa, was Indra's guru. He killed him. You killed my brother. And I am here to kill you. So normally in the traditional war, they used to say, "Now I will reduce you to ashes," like that. The other fellow will also proclaim. Even Bhishmacharya, when Arjuna was about to face him, he says, "Hey Arjuna, you are no match to me. Run away from here. Otherwise you will not be able to, your mother will cry," he says. So Vritra says, "Oh, it is by good fortune you are here standing in front of me. I will kill you," he said. So first he says, "How I kill you?" he says. "Krichrena machura vibhinna deham aspashtavannim samadandi gridraha." Now I will kill you. I will kill you with my trident. And I will never allow your body to be, Antyeshti will not be possible for that. I will do myself the Antyeshti for you. I will not allow them to do the samskaras for you. Then how I will do, he says. Machula vibhinna deham. I will pierce your body with my trident. and then will not allow it, aspashtavannim, I will not allow the fire to burn your body. You have to do samskara means you have to burn that. No, I will make it into pieces and throw to the eagles and kites, they will eat it. So what a statement he makes, you see. So these are our characters. These are the great devotees actually. Don't think devotees are big, people who are weeping actually. They are not, the devotees are so strong actually. Bhagavan says, I will not give you moksha. Don't worry, you need not give moksha. I am not worried. You should say that. If you are afraid of Bhagavan, like a beggar, if you approach, Bhagavan will not be happy. Bhagavan will be happy, you should talk to him in equal terms. If you are not interested with me, don't worry, but still I will keep on remembering you. Right? Bhagavan will be shocked actually. So he says, Aspashtavannim some adandi kricharaha, gridraha. I will throw your flesh to parts of your body in such a way that eagles eat it. Having said that, he says, it is also possible that you may kill me. First he says, I will kill you and do that. But in a war, both possibilities are there. So I told you, when you are doing something, there is a possibility of achieving it. So there is a possibility of achieving the goal and becoming happy. There is also a possibility of losing it, and you can become unhappy. In both conditions, how you are. So he says, now, he says that I will kill you. This, you can refer to this in the Bhagavad actually. Whatever meaning. Dharmasya tattvam nihidam guhayam. Dharma cannot be understood by everybody, Tom, Dick and Harry. You have to sit at the feet of the great masters and keep on meditating about it. And otherwise you will not understand this. It is the grace of master that makes you understand this. So, he says, the other possibility is that you may kill me. If you kill me, what will happen to me? He says, if I kill you, I will throw your body to eagles and make I have a rina, I have got a rina to my father. He has created me to kill you, so that my rina, I will become free from that death. I will make my father happy because he has created me to kill you. So I will no more be a rini, I will become rinaless. Suppose if you kill me, Atohare me kulishena veera harta pramatyeva shiro yadiha tatranruno bhudabalim vidhaya manasvinam padaraja prapasye. The last line is very important. Manasvinam padaraja prapasye. It is in the hands of God. It is the providence that will decide whether I kill you or you kill me. It is also possible that you kill me. And you have got the Vajrayudha. Bhagavan's Tejas is also there. Definitely you may kill me also. In that case, then also I have tried my best. I have done my duty to my father. And then if you kill me, nothing will happen to me. I will manasvinam padaraja prabhasye. Manasvinam means munishreshtanam. Where the sages have gone through the dust of their ashes, I will also reach that goal. If you kill me, I will reach that, he says. If I kill you, I will throw it to the, I will not allow the samskaras to do for you, I will give them to the birds. But if you kill me, nothing will happen to me, I will reach that ultimate goal, he says. You see, if you lose the battle, he says, I will achieve that highest goal. You have all seen this. He is the one who gives the definition for bhakti actually. Then he asks, Indra asks the question, how come you say like this? You will achieve that. You will reach the Manasvinam Padarajaha. You will follow the footsteps of the great sages and reach there, you say. What is your condition, he says. Oh, don't worry, my mind is always with Bhagavan, he says. Although I am fighting here, I am doing my duties here. I am created by my father to have a duel with you. So I have to do that, I am doing that. But my mind is totally in Samyavastha. Whether I kill and throw your body to the eagles, or you kill me, in both conditions, my mind is not least disturbed. My mind is thinking about God, he says. How he thinks about? Then he gives the, after all the slokas are so beautiful in that. Very beautiful slokas, real sadhana actually. Real sadhana means, in Gita you get many places, you go beyond the opposites. Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labho jaya, like that, so many places it comes. Mayarpida mano buddhihi, yomad bhaktaha same priyaha. Mayarpida mano buddhihi. Whether we are able to place our mind on him while we are engaged in various activities, the mind should have a connection with him. When the mind has connection means you are least bothered about what will be the end result, you are least bothered. It is not alasata. Those who are alasa, those who are irresponsible may also be like that, but this is entirely different actually. So what is your mind condition, he says? My mind is always longing for him. Then Indra, he stopped all the war and he is asking for Upadesha. Uttara is actually giving for Upadesha to Indra. While he is fighting, he is giving Upadesha. Then he says, Ajada Paksha iva madaram kagaha stanyam yata vatsata rakshutartaha priyam priyeva vishudam vashanna manore vindaksha didriksha detvam. This is the best definition in the whole of Bhagavata for bhakti. How your mind longs for God. He gives 3 examples. Later on, Shankaracharya adapts this sloka and makes, in Shivananda Lagari, he added 2 more things, but he has adapted this. So my mind is longing for Bhagavan. While I am engaged in battle with you, while I say that I will kill you and throw you to the eagles to eat, at that time his mind is connected to God. Is it possible for us? You think about all these things. We are so much attached to the result actually. Maybe we may weep, we may sing, we may do that, this, and Padayatra, this, that, everything will do. But where is your mind actually? Where is the mind actually? So he says, Ajada Paksha iva madaram kagaha stanyam yata vatsata rakshutartaha priyam priyeva vishudam vishanna manore vindaksha didriksha detvam. Hey Aravindaksha, hey Bhagavan, my mind is longing to see you. Then he gives 3 examples. This very well you know actually. Ajada Paksha iva madaram kagaha. The baby, the birds, when it lays an egg, and the egg, it will hatch. When the egg is hatched, the baby bird comes out of the the egg broken, and then the baby bird comes. And when the baby bird comes, it is very hungry. So it is looking for food. So the mother bird fly out and find out the suitable food for the baby and brings it in its beak and comes back and feeds the baby. So the baby, until the mother has flown out, until it comes back, it is waiting, when my mother will come, when my mother will come, when my mother will come. So as the baby bird is longing to see its mother, my mind is longing to see him. While I am engaged in battle with you, my dear Indra, while I gave a blow to your Airavata and when it fell down, my mind was there actually. This body will do everything, but my mind will be connected there also. I have no botheration. If the Airavata kills me also, nothing. So as the baby bird is longing to see its mother, my mind is longing to see you. So first example. Ajada paksha ibamadaram kagaha stanyam yata vatsata rakshutartaha. Then the second example is the cow and the calf. So the calf, normally the cow is there and the calf they tie it here. So once the morning milking is over, nowadays they don't have the calf at all. They they have all the milking machine, no calf required. The olden days, they leave the calf, so the calf will go and they go to the mother and the kit at the under the mother, so that the gland will secrete the milk. So little it will drink, immediately they will tie it here and then they will take out the milk. And they will not release it until the evening. So the baby calf has two wants. It wants the milk of the mother and also it wants to be fondled by the mother. Both are there. If you allow them to be fondled, it will drink the milk also, though nobody will allow. So it is wanting to go, it is tied here. Whereas the baby bird, it is not tied, it cannot fly because the wings have not developed. If the wings have developed, it would have gone. Here, it can walk also, but it is tied actually. So they have to release. So as the baby calf wanting to go to the mother, my mind is wanting to go to him. Then the third example here is Ajada paksha ibamadaram kagaha stanyam yata vatsata rakshutartaha priyam priyeva vishudam vishanna manoravindakshadidrikshadetvam. The third example is a girl newly married, Navodha they call it as. Udha means married girl. And then as a girl is married, naturally she has got an inclination to see her husband actually. She is waiting for her husband all the time. So as a girl is waiting for her husband, my mind is waiting for him. So when he was killed, Indira got Brahmahatyadi Papa. Indira got the Brahmahatyadi Papa, he got realization. He was realized so. And Indira got Brahmahatyadi Papa. So what exactly the sadhana, you tell me now? Is it all the exercises we do, that is all the sadhana? It can be a sadhana, it may take years. Come to do japa, all these things are perfectly okay. But to what extent we are able to treat the plus and minus equal? To what extent we are able to keep the mind at equipoise? Success and failure, we are able to accept it as gift of God. Now you all come here. The ashram, they are packed. 1,200 people and another 300. They are packed. So many people are there. So many problems are there. Water may not be there. And they have to stand in the queue. All these things are there. But nobody complains. Swamiji, everything is fine, they say. Why? Because you already created a mental situation that these things, if these shortcomings are there anywhere else, you will be angry. Here you are not angry because your mind has been conditioned. Everything is fine, they say. Difficulties are there, but these difficulties are not affecting you. The very same difficulties will affect you if you are in the hotel. So likewise, why it is? Why is it? Because you have accepted this. The plus and minus, that is fine. Plus and minus is fine here. This is the real sadhana you are doing. You are not really aware of it. You are really doing, unknowingly you are doing a sadhana. Gurudev's presence has made you feel like that. The presence of Gurudev here gives you that strength to accept plus and minus equally. A certain amount of equipoise has already been structured in you. Am I right, Swamiji? Morning I also heard that there was no water, but nobody complained to us. It's okay. Why? Because already they are able to accept plus and minus. Sukha-dukkhe sabhe kritva is actually happening here. The sadhana you are doing, actually Gurudev's presence inducing the sadhana. So this we have to extend everywhere. The mind should not get unnecessarily disturbed over these things. This is what is called selfless service. Selfless service is not something. Every activity you do, whether you are cooking in your home, whether you are teaching your child, whether you are serving your husband, most of you are not sadhus. Most of you are householders. How are you reacting to the various situations in your work area? How do you react the various situations in your domestic area? What is the net effect of those actions and reactions in your mind? To what extent you are disturbed? The stress management and all these things are okay. There should be an inbuilt stress management here. So if we are able to accept success and failure equally without getting much disturbed, that is the best sadhana. Ultimately, all sadhana will bring this to you. Shankaracharya puts it as this as titiksha. Sahanam sarvadukkanam apratikara purvakam chinta vilaparahitam sa titiksha iti nikatyate. Sahanam sarvadukkanam chinta vilaparahitam. Chinta rahitam, vilaparahitam. Vilapa is spoken. Chinta means it is, oh, it happened. We are worried actually. Why this worry? It is the divine will. You have created me. I accept it, everything as your prasad. Why don't you accept everything as this prasad actually? You can do whatever it is possible, but mind should be totally, you should be able to sleep. All petty desires, you should be able to free from all unwanted desires. I will not try to achieve anything by wrong means. That is not going to make me ultimately happy. Small petty desires are there. We do all type of wrong things for that. Why all these things? Because some small pleasures make you happy. So, the real sadhana is to keep the mind, to accept everything as God's will. Whatever happens, I will do everything according to my nature. Anisrita swabhavat yadyat karobi. Anisrita swabhavat. So one person will do one way, another person will do another way. You can't expect all people to do the same way. Prakriti swabhavat we say, by my nature, this way I can do only this way. So anusada swabhavat yadyat karodi, that you offer it to Bhagavan. So you can offer your pain and pleasure to Bhagavan also. Yadyat karma karomi tattadakilam shambhota bharatana. Yadyat karma karomi tattadakilam shambhota bharatana. Whatever action we do here, even the speech I do, all those things we have to offer it to Bhagavan actually. He said, we should accept it, whatever we get as prasad of Bhagavan. People used to say that, oh, because of Gurudev's grace, this good thing happened. If bad things happened, whose grace it is? Gurudev's grace, I did not get it. Anyone will say like that. Bhagavan's grace, Bhagavan deprived me of this. Because of his grace, I failed. Why don't we say like that? Is it not Bhagavan's grace? So, why we are not able to accept it? Bhagavan's grace only comes in form of comforts to us. Why not little discomfort also? Sometimes he can give a pinch and make us weep also. We also teach the children. Like that, why don't we accept that the pain that we have in life, the difficulties we face in life is grace of Bhagavan. So, ma manusmara yudhyacha. So, Gurudev says that remember, constant remembrance of God and spiritualize all activities. This is the spiritualization. Remember God, ma manusmara yudhyacha. And in the battlefield, you are in the battlefield here. This world is a battlefield. In that battlefield, whatever activity you do, it is an offering unto Him. And the result we get, it is His prasad actually. So one of the great devotee has made a prayer. The Kunti has made a prayer. Hey Bhagavan, let me have always problems so that I will be able to remember you. Indirectly it means, when I am in happiness, I will never remember you. Vipadassantu nashashvate tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsyati apunar bhavadas. Vipat, let there be calamities, he says. If everything is happy, I will forget you. Aisa nahi hota. It should not happen like that. So they say, Yetavat punarartaye kurukripam apatsu sambatsu va. Yetavat punarartaye. This is my only prayer, Bhagavan. Kurukripam, you do that kripa, your grace be on me. When apatsu sambatsu va. When you make me in difficulty, when I am happy also, when you make me happy, then also I should remember. Bhuyat tvatpada patmayo reviratam bhaktir mama achanchala. So when I am happy, I may forget you. So in that happy condition also I should remember you. And I should accept you whenever there is a failure in me, when there is a problem happens to you. That problem is Bhagavan's grace. This is applicable to all people because every one of us got problems. And there will be failure also. So in that condition, it is His kripa. So let that kripa be always there. Let He shower that kripa so that we will be able to remember Him when we have difficulty, when we fail in life. We will accept this as His prasad. And when we are succeed, we will accept this as prasad. Hari Om Tat Sat. Sadguru Bhagavan ki Jai.